My odds are all preparations have been made.
Where are Radek and Staff?
The package is ready.
Father.
My people, sons and daughters of Helgan, on this day, as our enemy ships burn away in orbit, as their bodies lie broken in our streets, we are once again reminded of the depths of their depravity. For years we have suffered unbearable hardships, banished by our enemies to die from disease, from famine. They scarred us, they weakened us, but that time has passed.
This is a review of Killzone 3, a PlayStation exclusive. If you haven't played any of the other games in the series, which are also obviously PlayStation exclusives, just to recap, Killzone for the PlayStation 2 was an average game in my opinion. It started off really good, it was a great looking game, but then the level design got a bit tedious, and yeah, the game just kind of wore off me the more I played it. Killzone 2, that was the first game released on PlayStation 3 in the series, was much improved over the original Killzone when it came to level design and action, but the gameplay felt slightly unbalanced. When you were shooting at enemies, it seemed to take far too many shots to bring them down, and other sorts of problems with the balancing of the gameplay. So Killzone 3 was released in 2011. Obviously it's a first person shooter like the two previous games. There is also a PSP game, Killzone Liberation, but that's a completely different kettle of fish. It was developed by Guerrilla and published by Sony. The game also supports 3D TV, so you can play it in 3D with your glasses on if you've got a 3D TV. And it also supports PlayStation Move Control. I haven't tried that. I have tried the 3D TV, and it is one of the better 3D games, although I do think 3D's got a bit to go when it comes to computer games. So the story is, on the basic level, that the leader of the Helghast is dead, and Helghast mount a counter-attack kind of in revenge, and basically you must overcome the odds and save the day. So gameplay wise it's very similar to Killzone 2, but it feels a lot more balanced. The shooting seems a lot more satisfying, it doesn't take as many shots to bring down an enemy, and the level design is less frustrating, and you always feel like you've got a chance, whereas Killzone 2 kind of got a bit infuriating in points of the game. So along with a more balanced gameplay, there's also a new melee system, which includes a brutal melee where you basically like slit someone's throat or stab them, and the ability to string together combos so you can throw together a few different melee attacks. There's also some new weapons, but I won't spoil them by going into detail about them. You'll just have to play the game and find out. So when it comes to the level design, there's a lot of different variety. There's an Arctic level, there's a jungle level, and there's also like a scrapyard level, which is one of my personal favourites. And the graphics in the game look great. It's the best 3D TV game, but the lighting, the textures, you know, all runs smoothly, and for me it's one of the best looking PlayStation 3 games that I've ever played. So the sound is good, hectic as you expect from an action first person shooter, However, the voice acting is slightly lacking, and I found myself skipping through the cutscenes all the way through the game. I did kind of stop doing that as much later on in the game because the story does sort of start to pick up and the plot thickens.
Damn Helgen spiders.
So, as I've said before, the gameplay is extremely satisfying. It just feels really nice tearing into enemies with your guns, and it never gets frustrating like it did in the earlier Killzone 2 and Killzone 1 to some extent. That just had various different flaws. In Killzone 2 I remember there's a boss battle at the end, and there's not really any of that in Killzone 3. They've just wiped away all the frustrating bits and kind of started again. So longevity wise, you're talking 10 hours or so campaign. It's sort of like the standard length of a first person shooter that you expect.
I'll take the guy on the left.
So yeah, it's a very good value game. I picked it up for $9.99 second hand, and you can't really go wrong if you like games such as Resistance. Recently I played Rage, that's another game. If you like them sort of first person shooters, any of the Call of Duty games, then you'll like Killzone 3. It's an excellent shooter, great looking, great sounding. It's just a cool game, and definitely recommend it.
Someone's coming, hide in the grass. Did you hear that noise? Wait till he's close.